Hi everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. We have been talking to several experts and heads of organizations over the last few weeks to learn more about TITP, which is a very important program from the Government of India, from NSDC, as a part of Indo-Japanese collaboration to help them with skilled workforce from India. So in that context today, we are meeting with Ms. Sukhneet Kaur, who is the director, Akal Japanese Academy. And she's going to tell us more about how they, as a sending organization, have partnered NSDC and are doing tremendous job in connecting youth with employment in Japan and making it very aspirational as well. So on that note, welcome to this conversation, Sukhneet. First, please tell us more about the academy that you are the director of, and also what is the kind of training and recruitment and other things that you do as a sending organization for TITP.
First of all, thank you, Madhuri, for inviting me to this platform. I'm glad to be here. And of course, I would be sharing the information that whatever you need for me to share. So, Akal Japanese Academy, which is a unit of Akal Information Systems Limited. Now, Akal Information Systems Limited is a very well-known in Indian market with its presence in across pan-India, for the last 25 years. And our managing director is Mr. Sarabjit Singh, who is managing director of Akal Information Systems Limited. In 2018, Akal Information got a chance to become the sending organization. In fact, one of the few sending organizations that were initially made by NSDC.
Mm-hmm.
So, Akal Information Systems started this Akal Japanese Academy, which is looking purely into the training and for sending candidates to Japan for TITP for a period of 3 to 5 years. Okay. Now, what is TITP that you wanted, me to answer? So, TITP is Technical Intern Training Programs, wherein the candidates who are above 18 years of age and have completed their 10th or 12th class of education and want to learn some skill or whatever skill they have, they want to improve the skill. They go to Japan under this program for a period of minimum 3 years to maximum 5 years.
Okay.
Yes. So the age group is from 18 years to maximum 30 years. Sometimes 31, 32 years is also accepted.
Okay. Yeah. So, so it's basically, looking forward to very lucrative kind of assignment in Japan. And as you said, apart from the age group, I also read that, this is also open to, let's say, students from ITIs and other technical diploma or certificate holders. It could be graduates, and I think it could also be 12th pass and others, right? So,
Yes.
yeah. So, what are some of the typical job roles that they can look forward to through this program? And also, how important is it to learn Japanese to be able to work in Japan?
Well, I think I should answer the second question first.
Yeah.
Japanese people speak only Japanese language.
Mm.
Only few of them, like in the metropolitan cities of Japan, you will find English available. Though many of TITP candidates already there in Japan, so they are all speaking Japanese, So Indians are there, Japanese people are there, but the common language that is used in Japan is Japanese language.
Okay.
So if you want to communicate with a Japanese person, a person who is working in a building, a person who is working in a factory, a person who is working in different construction jobs or different TITP sectors will speak only Japanese. And if you say, oh, I know English, so I can survive. Yes, you can survive. You can survive, but then the person with whom you are going to work in the outskirts of Japan, he does not know English language. It is just like in the difference in Delhi or any other village. Delhi people speak English, Hindi both, whereas the people from village will speak only Hindi.
Yeah.
And maybe with a different accent. So the same is applied to the people who are going to Japan. So for going to Japan, Japanese language and the know-how of Japanese culture is a must.
Yeah. So they get sensitized to the culture as well. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, because Japanese people are very, very particular about their culture. be it garbage separation, be it the way the shoes are kept, be it the way the the cleanliness is maintained, be it the way they protect their environment, or be it any other XYZ part of their routine of your daily life. So
Yeah.
Japanese people are like very, 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 very particular. I will not say even particular. I will write many, many varies before that.
Oh.
So yes, so they are like very, very particular. So the candidate must know the basic know-how before he lands in Japan. Otherwise, he will feel out of place, and there'll be a big cultural shock for him.
Yeah, so all the nuances of the, of the culture, the way they, the way they live, the way they work, I think all these become a part of the grooming and the language
Definitely,
efficiency,
definitely.
the
Yes,
cultural
yes,
sensitization. Yeah, that's very important.
yes.
Now, the other part of it, like I was asking you, what are some of the typical job roles for which you have been sending these candidates?
Okay, so our candidates have been to Japan on the roles like welder, carpenter, construction areas like reinforced bar, scaffolding, then metal spray paint, agriculture, uh, the plastic molding for girls, care workers. So these are like a few sectors, where we are sending candidates, and some of them have already landed in Japan.
Okay, so it's a mix of boys and girls, like,
Yes,
right?
it's a mix of boys and girls.
And so,
Yes.
do you see anything, taking precedence like the most popular job roles? Is there anything like that in any health, like healthcare sector or manufacturing or construction?
The manufacturing sector is not a part of TITP. So for TITP, maintenance part is,
Oh,
so
okay.
maintenance part comes under TITP. As of now, that I will say that areas which are in demand, I will not say the areas which are famous, but the areas which are in demand
Huh.
are construction. Huge and huge population are required for construction,
Okay.
and at the same time, healthcare workers.
Okay. Healthcare and
And yeah, and some part of machining sector also, so we as a sending organization receive demand, a lot of demand in construction, and
Mhm.
of course machining sector and healthcare.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And this training about, I mean, because I think the main challenge here is for them to learn Japanese, right? That's the kind of gap which they have. Otherwise, they are skilled enough to work anywhere.
Definitely.
So, what has been your experience? Typically, how long do they take to get proficient in a certain level of Japanese?
Okay, so there are see 5 levels of Japanese language, but to go to Japan and live there successfully, we always tell them to learn at least 2 levels of language, because when they know at least 2 levels of language, so they have that much vocabulary and grammar that is required to speak Japanese
Mhm.
in a basic manner. I will not say fluently, though. If you read TITP manual, only N5 is the requirement for TITP. Even some candidates from other countries like Vietnam or Philippines, from where this program is used to be more popular, they even don't do N5. But we in this academy, we insist all our candidates to do at least 2 levels of language before they go to Japan. Now, you will be surprised to know that sometimes, I find a 10th class candidate, or a candidate who is a 12th pass, or a candidate who is a mechanic or an electrician or a welder. They have got such good IQ that they are able to pick up the 2 levels of language in 6 months.
Okay.
And sometimes it takes, of course, a longer period. Some takes 6 months, some takes even 1 year also.
Mhm.
So, but for what we have learned in the when we are imparting this language education to the candidate, is that that you have to be really, really patient with the candidates. The candidate will take time to learn a new language.
Okay.
So apart from other things that we teach to our candidates, like time discipline and the mannerism that is required for Japanese classes, being patient is also, that is one of the things that is required when the candidate is being taught in the Japanese language. So some of them have got really, really good IQs, and in fact some of my candidates, they have already done to the highest level of N1. Some of them are doing N1, some of them have already done N1,
Hmm.
and some of them are doing N3, N2 now. Some of them have already reached Japan. So
Okay.
it depends upon individual interest also, how much the candidate wants to grow in that field.
Right. Yeah.
And it is, I believe this is a very big opportunity if the candidates want to see at least 10 years of their life in Japan, because from TITP, the road, the road to success in a Japanese, in Japan, it starts.
Okay. Yeah, so I think after the internship also they can continue on a work visa, right? If they want
Yes,
to go for
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
license.
After TITP, they can, give examination for SSW in
Mm-hmm.
some of the fields. But if you have already completed successfully 3 years of TITP, you
Yeah,
need not give examination of SSW, and directly you get a visa for a minimum of 5 years.
that's
So
really,
yeah, so if 5 years of TITP and 5 years of SSW, that is why I said, 10 years they can stay on work visa in Japan. And
mm,
after 10 years, or maybe after 8 years, they can apply for a PR, if their company allows them. So I believe with Japan having less of workforce, this is
yeah.
a very big opportunity for all the Indians who want to go to Japan and earn a good living.
Yeah, and also like a country which is aging fast and where they need care, like geriatric care for the old people. I think
Yes,
there'll be many opportunities for youth, and we have the demographic dividend,
definitely,
which
definitely.
can be utilized, for a very good reason here.
Yes.
And now, as a sending organization, Sukhneet, maybe you can tell us a bit more about how you operate as a sending organization. What are the things you do? And for example, if somebody wants to, apply for this opening, I mean, apply for, let's say, or show interest to become a sending organization and partner NSDC, how does it work? Maybe you can give us more info on how you work closely with NSDC and how the entire process gets operated.
See, once you become partner with NSDC, and you start getting requirements. First of all, the most important thing for you to become a sending organization is that you must have somebody in Japan who can take care of the marketing activities.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it is easy to become a sending organization, but I believe it is difficult to place students in Japan unless and until you have an office there, or you have some Japanese, native persons working with you, or somebody who can look after activities, your marketing activities in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So unless and until you don't have that type of infrastructure, it is useless becoming a, you know a sending organization. Once there is somebody taking care of marketing activities, you start getting requirements from different supervising organizations, because there are three type of organizations which are involved in the TITP process. One is the sending organization, which we are, and second is the supervising organizations with whom the agreements are signed. The third one is the implementing organizations where the candidates are placed.
Okay.
So SOs cannot go directly to the IOs. So SOs have to move to SVOs, and SVOs connect us to different IOs. So first you got to have an agreement with the SVOs. Those agreements are shared with NSDC on regular basis, monthly, or as and when the agreement gets signed. Once the interview is done and the contract is signed, the information is again shared with NSDC,
Okay.
and whatever other information, like the amount that that the TITP fees that we are taking from the candidate, or in which prefecture the candidate is going, what type of a company, where is the name of the supervising organizations, the name of the implementing organizations. So all the information is shared with the NSDC. And
Hmm.
when the candidate is dispatched to Japan, again the information is given to NSDC with the candidate's complete address, phone number, the emergency contact number, the contact numbers in Japan, everything. So all the information is shared with the NSDC. So
Okay.
there has to be a complete transparency between the sending organization and NSDC, and of course, if there is like some you feel that you need NSDC's help. So of course, I really approach them a lot. If
Okay.
any of my candidate is facing some problem in Japan, and I feel that NSDC needs to be involved or some kind of advice, so I definitely reach out to NSDC.
Yeah, so it looks like it's a very closely monitored program
Yes,
by.
yes, definitely. Yeah. Because every month the monitoring sheets are going to NSDC. It is something that, it is a very, I would say, Madhuri, that this is a very transparent program. And we are also like Akal is very, very transparent in its approach when it's come to sending candidates to country like Japan. So
Yeah.
whatever the processes, whatever the steps are involved in sending the candidate to Japan, everything is shared very transparently with the candidate. Even all the job requirements, the contract that they are going to sign, the salary that they are going to, get. Everything is discussed before they actually sit for the interview.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
once the interview is done, again, that the documentation part that we are doing, everything is explained to them. So till the time they go to Japan, there's 100% support from Akal Japanese Academy. And of course, when they reach in Japan, if again they face any kind of trouble, be it they require some counseling sessions from us, or if they want some emotional support from us, or if they want some emotional support for their family, everything is done by Akal.
Yeah. So you're also handholding them, helping them out,
Yes,
at
definitely.
every step. Yeah. At
Of
every.
course, of course. Every week we are calling out to them, we are reaching out to them, and we are discussing whether they are facing any problem, or, if they are okay, if their work area is okay, everything.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, so it's a kind of a safe and secure option for students, for youth also to try out enrolling in TITP program. And now from the overall perspective, like when you look back for the past years that you have been sending these candidates, how do you assess the overall impact? Like, is it like life is very tough in Japan, or what do they tell you, and how is the impact, the positive side of the impact?
see, Madhuri, every place has its own positive and negative,
Yeah.
right? Even, Delhi, I will not say Delhi does not have negative points. Delhi also have. Hyderabad also have. So
Yes.
every place has positive and negative points. What we believe, and what we teach our students is that do not look at the negative points. Look
Hmm.
at the positive points of the country you are going.
Hmm.
We always show them the brighter side of the image, that they are going to learn a new language. And once they, even if they don't want to stay in Japan for 10 years, it is okay to have an experience for 3 years,
Yeah.
because what they are going to acquire from Japan is going to come to them, handy all through the life, because they are going to learn the time discipline. That
Yeah.
is what where, the Indians are lacking. Because if we have to work for 8 hours, the efficiency that we are going to give to our companies in India is only maybe 5 hours, or maybe maximum 6 hours, because we need so many tea breaks, we need a cigarette break, we need, so a big lunch break. Whereas in Japan, the time is money.
Hmm.
So the most important thing that they are going to learn in Japan is how to respect time, how to be there, before time, the
Hmm.
mannerism that is required to work in an international community. The second part is that is what they are going to learn. The third part is, be polite and patient. Even if you feel you are angry, somebody has done something wrong with you, you have to say Moshiwa Kyarimase, means I'm very sorry, and you have to start continuing the work. So that is the third thing, they are going to learn to be forgiven and to forgive,
Hmm.
apart from politeness and mannerism. So money is of course one of the another factor for which the candidates are going. And
Yeah.
of course an international experience. If you have been to Japan, the pathway is open for all European and American countries,
Hmm.
especially for European countries. So I believe if somebody really takes up this program in a positive manner and learn whatever is being taught in Japan, be it high or low, because for them they are doing every work on their own. They are
Yeah.
washing their utensils, they are washing their their toilets, their restrooms, everything. They are cleaning their rooms. So that is what Indians are going to learn over there. So they have to take it positively if they really want to succeed in life. Otherwise, complaints, you can complain anytime you want,
Right.
and the people who complain, they do not succeed.
Yeah, yeah. As you said very rightly, the dignity of labor and many other things like the respect for time, the certain value system that is good for us also. I think, that's an opportunity for them to learn. So is there any other point you wish to share, Sukhneet, besides all that we discussed so far?
Well, Madhuri, I would just like to say that, TITP program is a great opportunity for any candidate who want to have an international experience.
Mm.
Beside learning, of course, the language is the difficult part. But once you overcome that hurdle and you have been to Japan, you have lived there for 3 years or 5 years, I think it is going to be one of the great experiences that a candidate is going to share with his children and his grandchildren.
Yeah,
So, I always tell them that, look at the bigger picture. Maybe you have never been on a plane. Your ancestors would never thought of going to a country like Japan. Everybody wants to go to America and Canada. But think about Japan, and it is like one of the most developed economies in the world.
right.
So I believe, the Indian youth, they must go to Japan, learn the skills, and after coming back to India, be the part of the project that government is launching, and use those skills learned in Japan to help build a new India, as Modi ji said.
Yeah, yes, very rightly. Very rightly you shared, especially the last part when you said when they come back to India, it is still very valuable, whatever they pick up there, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
they can make a huge difference and be the inspiration to other young people as well. Yeah, so on that note, thank you so much, Sukhneet, for talking to me today and sharing these valuable insights about TITP. We would be very happy to be in touch with you and also in future, perhaps feature some stories of students who have been doing well there, on our platform. That could also be something we can take up in future. Thank you.
Thank you, Madhuri. Thank you for inviting me to this platform. And Akal would be glad to help you more on, building this network. So
Thank
thank you
you.
so much for inviting us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.